Aging can bring with it challenges in the care of self and for loved ones, especially when there is a serious or chronic illness. In this video, we honor the wisdoms that Marianne shares as a woman living with purpose.
According to 73, I'm old. According to my mirror, I'm aging. According to my hanging down body skin, I'm aging. But my mind is not grasping that at all. My name is Marianne Lawrence. I'm 72 years old, and I live in Terrace. I was going through a difficult time. I was losing a very close friend. She was dying. And I was struggling, with many things, I think, at the time. And I went and had a visit with my minister, and he had a visit with me, and we talked for quite a while, and he said, okay, he said, now, I want to do something with you, and I hope you don't mind. He said, come over here and look in the mirror. So I went over and looked in the mirror, and he said, and he stepped out of the reflection, and he said to me, I want you to say to the mirror, I love you. And I could not get the words out. And I cried and cried and cried, which in retrospect, and it was a very quick retrospect, was not a bad thing. And was probably something that I needed at the time, was that I'd been holding and not talking to anybody. I had a sore shoulder for, at least 2 years. And it was ongoing. And then I believe I had another fall, that exacerbated it to the point where the medical doctor decided it was time for an x-ray and that it was a torn rotator cuff. I went out of town for the surgery. It turned out to be straightforward, but that would have been my first huge time to ask for help. And it was a very difficult 4 to 6 weeks. And I never had a day that I was on my own without somebody coming in. And that was really important because I couldn't drive and I didn't feel like going out. And physiotherapy, the shoulder surgery wouldn't have been done unless I'd agreed to be a partner in the recovery. And that means physiotherapy exercises 4 times a day. And so that was my whole day. And an ice machine, and on and on and on. And within a year and a few months, I had lots and lots of mobility, not as much strength as I'd like, but that's okay, and no pain.
And what role does self-care have for you in your life?
Self-care, in a deeper sense, is making sure I get to my naturopath, making sure I get to my chiropractor, making sure I get for my Rolfing, and making sure that I am with friends and family, and being in a community where we are recognized when we go around. All of that is emotional stability for me, and it's huge. And the counseling that I get from my practitioners and the amazing counseling I get from my women friends is fantastic. The only thing is that as we age, that support group diminishes, and it diminishes through illness, be it our own or others, through death and losing friends, and we geographically live away from our family. The progression of the illness that my husband has hugely increased caregivers, with me finding myself being a caregiver. Now, I have talked to women my age who say, I refuse to be called a caregiver with my spouse. I am their lover and their husband. I am not a caregiver. But I slipped into caregiver terminology quite quickly. But the biggest difference is that I'm not getting down south to see my family. And that self-care to me is that love. Through the church, I was singing in the choir, and so I had my singing, and I've worked in theater and with music, and I believe that singing, even in the shower, for those that may not think they can sing, or in the car where nobody else can hear you, is huge therapy. There's something about the resonating of this area, oh gee, would that be the heart, of this area that I think is absolutely profound. And I have to be honest and say I do get out of bed and go to the bathroom and get in front and start doing my teeth and think, oh, I didn't think of three things that I'm grateful for. So while I'm brushing my teeth and looking in the mirror, I talk to myself about 3 things I'm grateful for. And if I forgot it then, I think, oh, I pour a cup of coffee and stand it there and think, okay, now what 3 things am I grateful for? Because I think that it makes the world go round. And I think we need to be grateful. It may be minuscule. It may be a leaf that's on a tree just there outside the window, sort of fluttering. And I think how, in the moment, how grateful I am for all that means. So I do believe that now that affirmations are very important. If I can stand in front of a mirror now and say, I like you. Today I really like you. When I was growing up, my parents used to say, it will all come round when something would seem to go wrong. May we all live long enough to see that happen. And I have many times. What I meant, Bette Midler's my alter ego. So I would like to be Bette Midler. So you sing and you dance, or Shirley MacLaine. Shirley MacLaine would be a good alter ego. Anyway, we'll talk about self-image instead.